You're listening to Drinks and a Movie with your host, Rudy. Spoiler alert.
Drinks and Movie Podcast. Yo, what's up, everybody? It is March 2026. I've got a new guest on the show, my dear good friend, Hector. How are you doing, man? We're over here at your pad in the backyard.
Hey, just living the dream here with Sir Rudy, you know, making it happen.
You've been talking about getting on this show for a while.
Yeah. I'm like, got to get those residuals, you know. Gas ain't cheap these days.
Yeah. So this is going to be a fun and different episode, everybody. So Chuck Norris passed away just a few days ago, and we were talking about, we should do one of his movies. It seems you've seen a lot of them in your youth coming up. This was actually my first Chuck Norris movie. So we're going to be talking about Lone Wolf McQuade from, I forgot the date already.
83.
I want to say 82, 83? 83. So Lone Wolf and McQuade from 83, starring Chuck Norris, of course, David Carradine, who would, be probably most famous for Bill in Kill Bill, or I guess Kung Fu if you're an older person. But also Robert Beltran is in this. I always like him from Night of the Comet. And we're going to do things a little differently here. Chuck Norris was very much a man's man. We're talking a classic 80s action film. So we've got a very strong drink here in the form of Old Forester, single barrel strength rye. But to go with that, we're also grilling. We're out here in the backyard. Hector got a Tomahawk steak, so we're doing that. We're just doing a full-on grilling that for the first time. So it's at 88 degrees right now. We're waiting for it to get to 110 so we can hit it with that reverse sear. And so let's see if the timing works out to where we wrap this up around the time that's ready to go. And then maybe we'll make you guys jealous by tasting it on the recording. I know people frown on this now, but just a very manly day, manly episode right now.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So let's start off. We got this Old Forester. This one is coming in at 131.6 proof. In other words, ABV of 65.8%. Warehouse G, floor 8, so an upper floor. Get a little more heat up there, maybe make it taste a little older. I apologize in advance. I know you're not like a big whiskey drinker like I am. And we haven't had any warm up today, so we're just really
just dive right in, just like Chuck would do it.
Yeah,
it's a Chuck day. Yeah, to the man.
All right, so again, super high proof. You're gonna want to like nose it first and have your mouth open. One thing that will help you get acclimated to is if you put your nose to it and breathe in through your mouth. So I'm doing. So it's definitely black pepper, definitely rye. Weird, yeah, not a little bit of that. Is that like that anise, like a little bit of a black licorice, almost like a Sazerac, just a tiny bit of a hint of that. Some kind of sweet, maybe a little bit of like a dark cherry on there. But other than that, just like rye, just pure straight rye. I was stoked to find this at my local Total Wine a couple weeks ago because these bottles were kind of hard to come by around here, and when they were around, stores sell them for like $200 to $300.
Oh wow!
So I do have one that I spent a pretty penny on, like, that I haven't even opened yet.
Is this like a seasonal thing, or that they do it every other?
Yeah, they just don't come out that often. And so and then they're kind of hard to see at stores like that. So maybe, but I have been seeing them more, and other stores post about them, and at a good price of I think I got this for like $75. So compared to $200, $300, way better. Still pricey, but again, you don't see them often. And Old Forester is great. They make really great rye, and 131 proof. We love it. So here we go. I have tried this one already, but now that it's opened up a little bit, we'll see how it's kind of changed over time. But here we go. Cheers
Chuck, to the man.
Yeah, to Chuck. R.I.P. I forgot to tell you not to take it all back. Just sip it.
That just means I just got to get another one.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me top you off a little bit here. Just a little splash.
Actually, that's smooth. I was like, the way you set it up was expecting the worst.
Like way worse.
Yeah. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna be like coughing for the next 2 hours.
I just always gotta prep people because you just never know, especially with like first drink of the day. But it is
so you would do more of this in sips?
Yeah, just anything like this, like definitely just sipping it. And usually when I first like drink it, I'll let it kind of rest on my tongue for a few seconds. Some people say 8 seconds, just to kind of coat the palate and get yourself acclimated to it. And then it's really once you get into like the second and third sip is when you'll get more of the flavor. Because right there, you probably tasted mostly alcohol. Your mouth is just like
No, there was some flavor there.
Yeah.
There was,
They're definitely rich, and but what's cool, especially with the higher proof stuff, is like if it's good whiskey, like the taste will evolve as we go on. Like if we keep sipping it over the next 30 minutes, like it's gonna change as we go. But
so what you're saying is we're stopping until someone's on the floor.
Shit, not with this one. Not when I live too far away. We also have some Shiner Bock here, a little Texas beer, so we'll talk about that in a moment as well. We're currently at 91 degrees, just keeping track of our meat over here. Yeah, I can't really pick out any specific notes right now. It's definitely bright with the Spryce. Like I think a little dark cherry, maybe a little bit of a citrus. Tons of that black pepper, or maybe nutmeg is more like it. Like that citrus is probably more of like a nutmeg. And then probably like an allspice. There's definitely like another richer kind of spice in there.
Did you get that nut? I got that nutty, peppery type of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's an interesting combo because I would never.
Yeah. Works here though.
Yeah.
Definitely with the strong pepper flavor for sure. And I think it's got like a good oak quality to it. Like it definitely tastes like it's older. They don't disclose like how long these have been aged at all. The color is nice and dark amber, so it's probably been there for a while. And I don't know how many floors Warehouse G is, but 8 floors, like that's pretty high up. So actually, I guess for Old Forester, that doesn't even matter because they heat cycle their warehouses. So maybe the fact that it's got more height doesn't matter that much. We got a plane going by the way. But yeah, this is a really good one. I got this at Total Wine Hollywood. I just stopped by Total Wine San Dimas, and they have one as well. I think theirs was like floor 4 Warehouse L, but that was also around 130 proof. So the price is right now too. So if you don't have one and you love rye, I feel like this is the must-have if you can find it for under $100.
It's funny because like every bottle you've introduced me, I've ended up liking.
Yeah,
there's yet to be like, oh no, I
yeah. We'll get there at some point.
When you're the best, you do things with style. J.J. McQuade is the best. He's a lone wolf lawman in the Lone Star State.
Your record is unrivaled, but my kind of ranger is a model citizen, pillar in the community, goes to church, he lives clean, he's got a loving wife and kids. Your lone wolf attitude is gonna change.
Even a wolf has his weaknesses. And a powerful enemy. But even the best can't always do it alone.
Run, enough's enough!
Something to remember you by. Ranger, meet your new partner.
It's gonna be an honor working with you, Ranger McQuade.
I think you know Agent Jackson.
Looks like somebody doesn't like you, McQuade.
I make a few enemies here and there.
Yeah? So do I.
So now the wolf has a wolf pack. The final showdown belongs to McQuade. Lone Wolf McQuade, starring Chuck Norris, David Carradine, Barbara Carrera, and Leon Isaac Kennedy.
But man, let's talk about this movie. I'll read the synopsis off IMDb real quick. So again, 1983, Lone Wolf McQuade. After helping the local police with some horse thieves, a Texas Ranger aims at a drug lord with arms trade as well. They're interested in the same woman, and they're both into martial arts. So that's a pretty bad... that's the first synopsis on IMDb. I mean, I guess that's basically it. So maybe it's not bad, but interesting. So did you see this when it first came out? Like, this was my first time seeing it in my first Chuck Norris movie.
I don't remember the exact year, but just growing up, just a little background on why I've seen a lot of B movies. We, growing up, we had a black box, that's, I think it's over time, so we can't get in trouble now. But just watching all these movies, my parents were big into action, so Chuck Norris was one, Arnold, Sly, all those anything that was action that had, people dying, ninjas, all that was. So rewatching it as an adult was like, oh my God, this is completely different than watching it as a, 7-year-old, 8-year-old, Well, it's funny because I see kids, what they're into now, like this K-pop Demon Hunter thing.
Right.
And, I grew up on Porky's Revenge of the Nerds, Dirty Harry, all, Cobra Commando. It's like, but it was just, as a kid, I just remember like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever. It's like, it's just, you could do no wrong. And then rewatching it earlier today was like, oh my God, it's kind of has a different different perspective on how that movie really is.
Yeah. Yeah, I never like got into Chuck Norris movies. Like I remember as a kid, like Walker Texas Ranger was out and like big, and the first movie I had seen him in actually, and I knew who he was because Walker. I knew he was his own kind of star, but when I was in middle school and I really got into like Bruce Lee and kung fu movies, Way of the Dragon, aka Return of the Dragon. That's the movie where Chuck Norris is like kind of the big bad guy. He fights at the end at the Coliseum or whatever, which is pretty cool. That's like one of the great, Bruce Lee fights.
So you already have you see that guy, you're like, oh, F that guy. It's like I'm a Bruce Lee guy like everybody else was.
No, I mean, I always liked him too. I just thought it was cool because I knew he was like a big, star in his own right. And also like a world class, like world champion.
Yeah, he was like
numerous
legit,
championships in like karate and kickboxing, I think, and all that. Like he was the real deal.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how like years later, I guess this would probably be in like the 2000s, early 2000s, when I don't even know what started it, but the era of the Chuck Norris joke. Yeah. Where it feels like there's like hundreds of Chuck Norris jokes, and all of a sudden he just like that added to like his
aura, his it just built,
like he's such a cultural touchstone and like an iconic like powerhouse. Like it just made him kind of last through the eras. He's not like a forgotten 80s, era action star. It like always kept him relevant in an interesting way. Yeah. Even for people that have never seen his films.
And it's funny because most people like this generation probably know him as
the jokes.
That's all they know. They don't even know that he was a legit karate expert, multi world champion, God knows how many times, and all his movies, which was, I don't think there's a bad Chuck Norris movie out there. Yeah. Well, at least the 80s. Once you get to Sidekicks and beyond, then it's like, all right. But funny enough, this movie is the reason why he did this series, which is he's known for now.
Walker?
Which was Walker, Texas Ranger.
Makes sense, yeah. I mean, I guess like jumping into the movie itself now. So right from the get-go, I'm watching it. It's like this whole opening scene where these guys are like stealing the horses, and he's out there on the hill watching them, and we see the truck and it says Texas Ranger, and he's getting his gun together. And immediately I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this director wants so badly to be Sergio Leone. And the composer, I forgot the name of the composer, I looked them up, but I'm like, this composer is trying really hard to channel Ennio Morricone. Like you can just hear the influence in the music, the shots, the compositions. I'm like, all right, they're spaghetti Western fans, the guy that is making this movie right now. And I like it. I'm not knocking it at all. It just
that's
immediately
how it was pitched to him because oddly enough, Chuck Norris is a big John Wayne's fan. Okay. So he grew up on that. And when he read the script, originally he didn't want it because if you've seen the movie, it's pretty not dirty as the content, but just as a character. He has the beard. It's the first time he grew up with his beard. It's dirt all over. Looks like he just plays in the dirt. Yeah. And he's drinking beer. And his whole thing was, at the time, was he was a kid's hero. Like kids idolize him. They're like, I don't want to be scruffy looking, looking dirty, drinking beer, and turned it down actually.
That's interesting.
And then the director convinced him. He's like, kids are gonna love you regardless. And turns out this was, led to other things. It was the first time they kind of pitched a romantic lead for him because it was just been, action all the time. Yeah. Which in itself was, a bit awkward when you see it now. It's just like, oh, his moves weren't.
Yeah, I mean, I think he still looks good and fights well in the movie. Like, I think those scenes and moments are good. It didn't. So the movie, it's like there were some moments that were like kind of funny to me, but not in a way of like when I watched Cobra or like Hard to Kill, that those were funny. This is like, oh, we're still like pretty straightforward, and I like seeing that kind of spaghetti western influence. It was tough because it immediately pulled me out. I'm like, oh, yep, they're trying to kind of recreate almost the music from Once Upon a Time in the West. And I dig it. Like, I dig it, and it fits what we're seeing and everything.
100%.
But it pulls me out just a little bit. And I did like how just kind of, scruffy his character was. I think it's really funny, him like always trying to drink this Pearl beer, which I tried to find, but I did get Shiner Bock. I was like, all right, I got to get at least some Texas beer. So, and I might need some right now because this whiskey like really made me hot. Like, my blood is like boiling. Oh, there you go. You're already prepared. And dude, so I'm gonna jump ahead. There's a scene in this movie where it's after they go with like the ATF to kind of attack the bad guy's little place or whatever, and the ATF guy is like out there like, you guys are under arrest, and they're like, no, don't do that. And then he gets blown away. So now they're in this gunfight. Number one, I think it's so hilarious in some of these movies when the plot armor is so thick that characters can just get in full-on gunfights without taking cover.
Oh yeah,
like
it was just like
just like out in the open, like just shooting like 6 people and like everyone's firing machine guns.
As kids, you say like, "Oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever." And now you're like, "You should be dead right now. Why aren't you?
Yeah, it's just funny to me.
But that's throughout the whole movie. Like,
even from the very beginning, he like just takes a knee and he's like, and everyone's trying. There was like 20 people shooting at him,
and how it's funny because the way they shot that scene right away, and I forgot like a couple of the characters that were in it, but I saw I guess the main bad guy in the opening scene. I'm like, oh, that's one of El Guapo's henchmen from Three Amigos.
Okay, I knew I recognized him and his voice.
Yeah,
and his voice. Like, the voice
exact
is very
same thing, just different. Same dialogue, same everything. And I'm just like, oh my god, it's just like it's just getting better and better. And but that scene where he's telling him to stand up. He has a rifle, sniper, like what would have been a sniper rifle. With 20 goons? Yeah. With guns, and like he's gonna win this. Yeah. And then he's
gonna walk down there and fight him hand to hand.
And then the next scene is him coming down there. I come down. I'm like, well, that's gonna probably take about 20 minutes. Like, but there he is right away.
I do love that shot of him on the mountain though, and the sun is like perfectly behind him. Like they get a few of those. I'm like, oh yeah. I just love the effort in that of like. Because, behind the scenes, the filmmaking side of it, they're just like, all right, we got to wait till 4:55 and we have a 2-minute window to shoot this thing. So I need to just stand there, set up the cameras, and we're going to wait until this shit's right. You got one take.
But also that speaks of the era of like the 80s because there's a lot of movies and there's not a lot of bad movies.
No, yeah.
It was just that whole thing is like we're making a movie for entertainment purposes. That's all it is. Yeah. It's not going to change the world. It's not going to... Yeah. It is what it is.
Entertainment. Well, and knowing the audience too. Like I feel like the '80s was very much the heyday of like this type of action movie and everything, and these kind of action heroes. And it's like not that there aren't action movies now, but it definitely isn't the same as it was then. Like right now, like there's no Arnold or Van Damme or Chuck or Bruce Lee in the '70s or like whoever Stallone and all that. Like now, I mean, we have John Wick. That's cool, but there was like a specific just era where that was it, like a lot of gunplay and all that. But the scene is when he gets defeated, right? He gets like shot in the arm or something. He's defeated, and they bury him alive in his truck.
Oh, that is the best scene of all time.
So, dude, I had to rewind this part because I'm like, wait, what is happening? And this is why I bought the beer. Because he's sitting in the truck, he's on the ground, and Robert Beltran's still out there. He survived, and he's like gonna try to figure out a way to save him. But we're in the truck with Chuck Norris, and he's just like, in pain or whatever. And he has a beer, like I guess in his center console. He opens up a Pearl beer.
One should always have back then. That just
and he like just pours it on his face, like he just pours it all over himself. Takes a sip and like dribbles it onto his chin. And I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? And then they set up earlier that he has like a little turbo booster in his truck. So he engages that and and they are playing this epic grand music. It's like the scene in Kill Bill Volume 2 when she's got to like climb out of the crate. This like epic music, and he just puts the pedal to the metal and like drives himself out of this grave.
And to me that is when you go to all these memes, that was like the beginning. That it was like one, I see it like that's when it started, right? There. That's one of the one. Moments. But even with that charger thing, like the technology in '83, like that one, I guess it could have been done, but not with that Dodge Charger, which later became
he was still in his truck, and then the noise that it makes it's like you're driving a Honda Accord. I'm like, that's the the big American heavy duty V8 engine. One scene I really like too is that there's this is early on, probably I think it's after that first scene, because then he goes back, he's talking to his like chief or whatever, and he's getting railed for what I see is like no reason. But then he goes home and he has like a target with like a big heart painted, and he's just like practicing shooting his guns.
Which is supposed to be his ex-wife.
Really?
Yeah.
So there's like a montage of him
on that,
shooting like 3 or 4 different guns. He eventually gets to like a sawed-off shotgun, like just one hand. He's like doing these moves, just firing at this little target.
But you got to add all the rolling over that he was doing. That it was just like, it's only going.
He's like rolling and jumping around and shit.
Got to be finals ready, as we say in the marching.
Yeah. David Carradine, man. David Carradine. I love to see David Carradine. I need to see more of the kind of older films he was in. I love Death Race 2000. I think we may have talked about that before. What'd you think of him as kind of the villain of the film? Raleigh.
I didn't mind it as much. I thought it would bother me because there is that, because he's an actor. He, you go back and you look at the Kung Fu series, and it's just like, the action stuff he's not like an actual real life martial artist.
No, but he got kind of famous for that because of the show. Yeah.
Well, and it started off bad because originally that show was for Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were already like,
yeah.
And then it kind of like became a hit,
right?
When it shouldn't. It had every reason to be canceled that first season, but it just kind of thrived and gained an audience and just. But hey, a gig's a gig. It's hard to do like, all right, be an expert in every character that you're trying to be. So it's like, it's time for that.
And I will say it, like the fight scene, like the final fight between him and Chuck at the end, or McQuade, JJ McQuade. I think it's shot and covered well. I think he looks good, like standing up against someone like Chuck, who is the real deal. Like nothing really bumped on me. And I think David Carradine just makes a good bad guy.
Yeah.
So he just makes a good villain. I love and he's like a karate champion, and when he's trying to provoke him in the fighting, and after he beats up some dude, they like give him a cigarette. So he's like,
it's just like that's what you do.
Yeah, I just love all that. And Barbara Carrera, it's funny, we were just talking about her when I did an episode on Never Say Never Again with another friend, and I appreciate her performance in this. So different from Never Say Never Again. And I just think it's funny how quickly she just falls for Chuck Norris. And there's this amazing scene where he comes home and she's just like vacuuming his house, and he unplugs it. And he goes to the fridge and he's like, "Where's the beer?
Yeah.
Where's the beer?" And he's like, "There's just like vegetables." And he's like throwing it out.
I would be mad too,
And he's like digging in the trash. Yeah, I would be pissed. I was like, I wrote that note. I was like, oh, there's no way this lady just broke into his house and is telling him what to do.
But
Barbara Carrera is at his house cleaning for some. I'm reading my notes, and she threw away his beers and replaced them with fruits, veggies, and vitamins. LOL. I love like the top of the fridge. He just like swipes it all off.
But looking back, like that was her from her acting career. She's done stuff since, but. Like just minor roles, but that was a year. Like if I was an actress, like this is my year. Like you did a Bond movie that year.
Yeah, that's right. It was the same year, right?
83, yeah. And then did you catch his daughter was
who
from Jason of Friday the 13th. She was the last girl that lived
in part 1,
and I believe it's 2.
Oh, not 2. I think three or 4. Yeah. Okay, I thought she looked familiar, but I didn't look up her credit. Yeah, that's funny. She looked a lot like Brie Larson. I couldn't get past. I was just, it's like Brie Larson.
Yeah. But it's funny, like looking back on movies now, like I just relate them to characters, like the old guy that retired, the guy from
L.K. Jones.
Zorro, Master Zorro was like, this guy raised Zorro. Like, so, and I always in my every time I see movies, I have my own universe where I just connect movies, even though they don't want to be connected. I'm like, no, that's the guy.
Yeah.
It's just, he just took a left instead of a right, and here we are.
Yeah, I will say, like, I was excited to watch this movie because I'm like, I've been meaning to. And New Beverly actually did a double feature of, I think it was this and Invasion USA. Maybe it was either New Beverly or Vista, just like a month or 2 ago. And I wanted to go, but for work or some reason I couldn't. So I was excited to watch this. I didn't go in with the mindset of like, I'm gonna like make fun of a goofy, movie. And I think it's okay for the most part, but it did drag a little bit for me. I don't know if you felt that way, like back watching it as a kid or now, but there were some moments watching it where I'm like, dude, this movie is like an hour 40. It feels like 2.5 hours. Like, I don't know how you felt about that.
Well, again, as a kid, like you would always watch it because it would be, if I missed it here, then it's going to be, if I missed it on Monday, it'll be replaying on Wednesday. If not, then Thursday morning or Friday night, and then Sunday, this kind of all the movies ran, and then once it left HBO, then it was on Showtime. So I would watch these as a kid, like in parts, and then eventually in the summer would just be like just binge watch a bunch of stuff, and then like, that's how it's supposed to. But now, as I didn't get that because I was finding new things, even though they weren't new. Just a different perspective. Like, and just like the silliness of it. Like, as a kid, like, of course he's gonna have a pet wolf.
Yeah, right.
It's in the name.
Yeah,
but that's like okay, like nothing. And then the things that I always like stick out, like, okay, on the Dodge Charger, like in some of the scenes he has a sunroof. Some of the scenes he doesn't. So I'm always catching those things where it's like, hey, wait a minute, like, can we at least
swap out the car?
Yeah. Or when he was when he meets the David Carradine character for the first time when he's sparring. Yeah. At that little like carnival event, where he jumps, kicks somebody down. So he's coming down, kicking the bad guy. So he would be hitting his knee, and then the next shot is that bad guy flying up into a table. I'm like,
which you gotta love in these movies, like whenever they use grenades or there's explosions and it's like 20 feet away, the guys will like fly up in the air in slow motion.
Yeah, and I got that at the end, like the FBI agent that got shot. Yeah, just chucking him. I'm like, why aren't you hitting the roof? That's on like, And then you see his partner, the ranger with the bazooka. Yeah, it's a guy, and there's like just smoke. I'm like, wouldn't there be like a
all the body parts
15-foot hole here? Yeah. But again, it's like you take for what it's worth. It's okay. Yeah. Like I'm being entertained. I see it.
It was a fun final battle, and I actually like this ending too, where he's going to go somewhere with his daughter and, ex-wife or whoever. And Robert Beltran, KO, they call him, pulls up. And he's just like, there's a robbery here. He's like, I'm taking a holiday. I'm taking the day off or whatever. And he's like, they got hostages. And he's just like trying to make that decision. And he's like, he's going to go save the day because that's what Lone Wolf McQuade did. JJ McQuade does. I also love early on, there's like a shot where they make a deal. It might be when they're preparing to go do the final battle and he like puts his hat on. Yeah. And it's all like supposed to be this epic moment. One thing that did bother me though was in that scene where they like bury him in the car after, like he gets shot in the arm or grazed or whatever. And they make it a point. Just thematically, this bothers me. Like, even for whatever silliness of the era, whatever we want to say, but this still should not get a pass. Yeah. Is, they make it a point to show him like practicing shooting, and he like shoots his target, and he's like in so much pain he can't do it. So it's like, oh shit, like he's been hurt, but we know he's got to get into the climax, and there's going to be a final battle of some sort. What's going to happen? How is he going to overcome? How much time is going to pass? And he's so angry that his arm hurts and he can't shoot that he like kicks a beam in slow motion and takes down like half the house. And that's fine. That part's cool. I'm down with that. What annoys me is that then in the next scene, it just doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
They go to do the battle. He's shooting as normal. Again, he's got the plot armor, so he's just out in the open with his daughter shooting. There's like 3 people. They're all missing him. David Carradine's firing an Uzi at him. He's just like running and juking like a football player. And he does the final fight. It didn't matter at all.
Yeah.
That scene needs to be cut. Or should have been cut. But yeah.
And what would be another scene you would have cut? I would have cut that ladder when Beltran was gonna go underneath the ladder, and he was like, "Oh, let me go around it."
Yeah.
And then the bad guy they were chasing went underneath the ladder. I was like, "All right, he's gonna get his comeuppance." And I didn't remember what happened because it's been a good 25 years since I've seen this. Is that time to Tomahawk break?
We're at 110 degrees. Yep, we're going to pull this Tomahawk, everybody. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Visit our snack bar and treat yourself to some delicious Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches. Cook the Castleberry way, slowly over open pits of glowing charcoal, then seasoned with a sauce that's zesty, yet delightfully mild to please the entire family. Also at the snack bar, you'll find popcorn and soft drinks and candy and French fries to go with your Castleberry's barbecue sandwiches. There's plenty of time before the movie starts, so visit our snack bar right now for Castleberry's pit-cooked barbecue sandwiches.
All right, and we are back, everybody. We just cut up, tried that Tomahawk, and I mean, you got
Devoured
it. You grilled it. You give us the review.
Not bad. It was. I've always wanted to do Tomahawk, but I was always afraid, man. That's a lot of meat to mess up.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like in most things in life, when you don't plan things out and just kind of go on, and it turned out great. Like a couple things we would change a little differently, but that's out of the park. Like we knocked one out of the park with that one. So it just gets better from now on.
Yeah.
Now the only thing that sucks is like I want to do the same thing tomorrow.
I'm over here thinking like, man, I might buy one for myself this week just to do it.
Knowing you'll probably like go home, pick one up, and do it again tonight.
Yeah, or at least prep it, because now I want to like, all right, how's it gonna go if there's a 24-hour drive ride on it? You know what I mean? Yeah, I might. Like if the store is open by the time I get there, I probably will. And I've been wanting to do like the chimichurri too, so maybe I'll. Because from what I was researching, like it's at its best after you mix it to give it like a full day and then use it. So maybe I'll prep that. I mean, I got paid on Friday. I get paid again tomorrow too for that gigs.
There you go.
I can be a little irresponsible, I guess. I'm gonna justify by saying that's why I didn't buy another one of these old Foresters today. I was like, I need that $75 for something. And apparently it's going to be a steak. Yeah, good. And that was actually the first time I've had a Tomahawk. Like, even when I go to steakhouses, I never order it because, one, they're pricey, and I don't really care for bone-in steaks. I get that they, I guess, apparently impart some degree more flavor, but I hate, okay, I got to cut around it now. I'm not going to eat it. I'm being charged for that. So this is my first time having one, period. And same for you?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn, it might be like a monthly a monthly dish now.
If we look at it, it's if we substitute our Brazilian lunch,
right.
So instead of going once a week, let's go every other week.
Yeah.
And the week we don't go, we'll do a Tomahawk. Yeah. That's a fair compromise there.
Yeah. And that's good, man. Yeah, super tender. I think, we were monitoring the temperature and not quite sure of whether it would fall in the rare, medium rare zone, but I think it was just right. It's definitely a little more on the rare side near the bone, like you pointed out. I mean, I wonder if that's more, if it has to do with the bone or just the fact that maybe the probe was only in like so far, maybe, and it like didn't read that part. But
I
think
didn't
it's
mind
like
it.
perfect.
Like the even like the more on the rare side of.
And I like that. I would rather
yeah.
be more on that side than too.
And I'm still
know.
getting used to that because all my life, growing up Mexican had to be, if it's not charcoal,
right,
it's not meat. And who thought of that? Like that's what I want to research. Like, which one of my ancestors said like no flavor is the best way to go?
Right? Yeah, just burn it up.
But yeah, that's all. It was always like, oh no, it has to be that. And as I'm getting older in my age, I'm kind of going back. I won't go like rare yet or medium rare. I'll go medium.
Yeah.
But that medium rare next to the bone, that was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, like super tender, man. That is very like that's a melt in your mouth piece of meat right there. That's the way it ought to be.
Now imagine we had it with that hot butter that we made.
Yeah, right.
Like
yeah. Yep. Yeah, I'll be doing one soon.
Yeah, so no room for greens over here. Just a lot of red meat over here.
Yeah.
And again, and on that note, cheers to the man of the hour, man of the day, man of the century, Chuck Norris. Rest in peace, brother.
R.I.P. So, any last thoughts for you on this movie before we wrap it up here?
It's funny because we talked about this numerous times of things you liked as a kid.
Yeah.
And rewatching something or seeing or listening to anything, you get a different perspective. Like, for example, I thought Legend was the greatest movie of all time. Well, Tom Cruise, Tim Curry, as I still to this day, I think is the best double. But rewatching it, and I watched it with my kids, and oh my God, it's bad.
Yeah.
It is bad, and my kids were like, "Really, Dad? Like this is
just
like
wasted our
you
time."
hyped it." And
So
now I'm a bit leery on watching things because I have good fond memories of these movies. But again, through the eyes of an 8-year-old to a guy in his 40s now is very different.
Yeah, right.
But no, I must say I was pleased. It didn't disappoint. I liked that. I couldn't remember some of the characters. I was like, oh yeah, that's what's his face. Oh yeah, like I like that when you don't expect something. Even the cheesy parts where it's just like, oh, that can't be possible. I'm like, I like that because who's to say it has to make sense?
Yeah, it's you said it perfectly earlier. It's just entertainment.
Yeah,
it's just entertainment value. It's a fun movie. There are points where they try to be really dramatic, and for me, it just doesn't work. Like with Barbara Carrera getting killed, which we didn't talk about her much, but when she gets killed, like, oh, you killed my husband, and it took me, and I love you, and all that. I'm just like, okay, like it just
like we've known each other for a week.
Yeah, like that part didn't land at all. But yeah, I mean, I would say so. This movie's streaming on Tubi right now, so you can watch it for free. I think it's worth checking out if you're like me. You've never seen a Chuck Norris film. This is probably a good place to start. I'd say. Would you agree as someone who's seen more?
Definitely,
of
you won't be disappointed. You were like it again. Like I said, it's gonna entertain you.
Yeah,
I
think especially if you're into westerns or in particular like spaghetti westerns. What's funny is when I got here and you were doing some prep, I was reading Roger Ebert's review on this.
Okay.
He gave it 3.5 out of 4 stars. I was like, oh, what? Here we go. He could be pretty harsh sometimes.
Yeah.
So to put this up there. And it's funny, we're on the same wavelength because he said the same thing. He started off talking about like Clint Eastwood westerns, Sergio Leone, that whole vibe, like the Italian stuff, and worked into this movie. I'm like, all right, so I'm not the only one who
picks
saw
up on
that,
right?
that influence. And he's someone too where he's like, yeah, are these things silly and this and that, but that's what it is. It doesn't apologize. It knows what it is, and he gave it a really good ranking too. So
we haven't talked about the PETA incident where an animal died in a movie.
On this
got
movie?
Shot. Yeah, the wolf. His wolf got shot.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying like in real life.
Oh, no.
Yeah. That was a moment that I thought was going to really lead into the climax. It still takes a while because when they came in and shot his pet, like I thought for sure, I was like, oh, big mistake. Like that's going to be the moment where he gets all like crazy and goes after him. But it still takes him some time to.
The way he grieves is like, oh, hitting the ground. I'm like.
He's like punching the dirt. Yeah. Yeah. Cool wolf. Yeah, man. Well, shoot. I think that's it for this one. Old Forester single barrel rye, barrel strength. If you can get yourself one, get yourself one. You know, they seem to be more plentiful now than they were a few years ago. And if you can't find a bottle of this, then get yourself a Tomahawk steak. It's going to be a little close to the same price, maybe a little cheaper. So do that. You know, I might need to start a new podcast talking about steak and like beef and movies or something. And just like every episode is reviewing some other cut of meat with the film. Not a bad idea.
Hey, if we get some sponsors, let's make that happen.
Yeah.
You know? We can be bought. There's no...
Yeah, 100%. All right, well, that's a wrap on this one, everybody. Cheers. Thank you for listening to the Drinks in a Movie podcast. You can now find us on Instagram at Drinks in a Movie Pod, where we'll be posting photos from all the various films that we discuss. You can also email us at drinksinAmoviepod@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe, and thank you for listening.